in the breathless hush of 4 a.m. In the dark sits a sad cliche, cloaked in the navy blue, slowly fading. Stars, tell me how this came to be. Sleepless, talk to me. She'd say over and over again, fumbling through a cut glass vase, passing lipstick, cotton spools, burning jealous pictures of marriages, of friends. You never asked to be the glutton of sympathy, she says over and over, but this is the end. 'Cause when I see it in your eyes, what you don't know, time to let go. I see it in your eyes. There is so much more out there to be learned, such mournful words on this white snow vacant page. All the lessons that she learns, she packs away. Will you never cease to be the glutton of sympathy? She writes over and over, again. That's when I see it in your eyes, what you don't know, time to let go. I see it in your eyes. There is so much more out there to be learned. Tossing, turning, roll away. Indecision, won't you ever make up your mind? Time, night time, wake the day, 'cause tomorrow we'll see if you've had your fill of sympathy. Will you never cease to be the glutton of sympathy? Oh, don't you know the stars are all fading? Let the sunshine capture the sparkle of your smile.
So that was Tim Smith with Glutton of Sympathy, and I have with me the very same Tim Smith. Hello, how are you doing?
Good, man. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Oh, that's my cat Rocco making a cameo.
What's up, Rocco?
Yeah, he'll make various cameos during this.
I have a dog named Ringo, so Rocco and Ringo could get together.
You could provide backing vocals if you want. I'll bring him on camera at some point. So, Glutton of Sympathy. I mean, was that like a song that really struck a chord with you at the time? And did you play that besides with being with Jellyfish? Did you play it with Jets as well?
Yeah, Rob and I would do that after Jellyfish ended, and we were still doing some shows, just acoustic stuff. We would play that. I just always liked the song. It was sort of a campfire song to sing and play. Out of all the Jellyfish songs I remember doing, it was one you could kind of get through and strum through without having to stop and go, oh, here's where the crazy harpsichord part happens or whatever. So it was one that I could always just play the chorus to. Plus, when we played it live, I actually played the intro acoustic guitar part and accompanied Andy singing it. So I just always liked it. I don't do it in the original key. It's a little bit too high for me, so I've dropped it down a whole step. So
did you have any, because you would hide your bass guitar underneath the acoustic when you played it with Jellyfish. So did you have any instrumental malfunctions when having the guitar taken off?
Yeah, I think only once. And it was usually because I was the one turning on off and on the switcher for the acoustic guitar line to my bass line. And I think once the cable got stuck or something for half a second and I couldn't get the bass line turned on in time. So there may even be a show recording of this where you don't hear me coming in with the bass in the first 2 beats or whatever, but I'm sure I was scowled at, and then we worked it out.
Rocco, I will bring Rocco on camera. So the main question I want to ask before we move on is, being in a band called Jellyfish, what is your favorite flavor of jelly and favorite type of fish? It's hardcore journalism, and I feel like you've been asked everything at this point. So
well, if we're going down the teen beat route, let's see. Now, when you call it, do you mean jelly beans when you say jelly, or do you mean jelly as in jam, like stuff you put on toast?
Like, well, jellies, would you call it Jello in America?
Or Jello, yeah. Well, there's Jello as well, yeah. So like the kind of thing that's in a blobby thing that moves around.
Mm-hmm. See, that's what I'm thinking, yeah.
Okay. Wow, probably cherry jelly, cherry Jello, yeah. And my favorite fish, probably salmon.
There you go.
So somehow you're going to create some weird anagram out of this for me saying that. Cherry salmon is my secret name or something.
There's the next band name, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's the kind of hardcore journalism that
it's a glam jam band. Cherry salmon.
So with Licorice Quartet, you've had 2 EPs out now, and we are eagerly awaiting the third EP. Will that be this year, or are we looking into next year at this point?
We're hoping for this year. I'm actually in my little room here editing some vocals for one of my songs that I sing the lead on. So I'm just going through that now. We're trying to get everything done by and mixed by September. So
the first and second Licorice Quartet EP have been, very positively received, and they've,
for the most part, there's a couple of dudes in the Jellyfish forum that don't rate us. That's cool. Whatever.
But I've seen, and this still exists. There's like old Yahoo pages and old forums and stuff like that where people weren't getting behind Imperial Drag at the time because it didn't sound exactly like Jellyfish, but they loved Umajets because the harmonies were there, and it was more. Well, I mean, you can't say the harmonies weren't there with Imperial Drag, but I think it was more kind of in that vein, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we're all trying our different flavors and our different, everything that we've got in our cupboards for flavoring in all these different projects that we've been doing over the years. I don't even know. I mean, if the original 4 or me and Eric and the other 2 got together, what it would even be like today. Everybody's changed a bit. So who knows?
And do you think that that's, everyone kind of talks about what a third Jellyfish album would have been like. It really is hard to say, because I mean, if Andy and Roger would have, been on the same page creatively after the Spilt Milk tour and everything, there's no telling what that same page might have been. It wasn't necessarily going to be mass choral harmonies.
No, and just based on, I mean, I remember the last time I saw Andy. I feel like I'm like last time I saw Bigfoot. I was in the. He was talking about Van Morrison a lot, and he was listening to a lot of more just kind of, I guess at that time it was still considered singer-songwriter stuff. It wasn't as involved, much more stripped down and just kind of, guitar and vocal kind of thing. So I would imagine it would have gone maybe something like that. Would have been my, I mean, that's what in my head before they decided to split up, that's kind of where I thought his mentality was, Andy's was. I wasn't really sure what Roger thought of that at the time. Come to find out later, he wasn't so interested in that. But, you know, that would have probably been the next experiment.
Did you feel that?
I wouldn't have had anything to do with it.
Do you feel that in the 90s there was still faith from the record company that if an album doesn't live up to the sales, like Spilt Milk, that they would have been allowed to make another album exactly how they wanted to? And, you know, even if it was a Spilt Milk 2, because if Spilt Milk doesn't work on the mass public, what makes anyone think that another Spilt Milk is going to do that? So maybe a change in direction may have been the way to go at that point.
Well, I mean, and again, I'm speaking as much as a fan of Jellyfish as somebody who was a part of the second record in a limited capacity. But I don't think they thought of it in terms of making a record that would be like Spilt Milk. I think that record happened on its own naturally because of what they were listening to and how the songs are written. I think we're all of us are just growing as musicians and as writers and as players to explore lots of different things. And you know, the bands that I know we all liked were always changing and doing different things. And yeah, I mean, again, it was never really sort of put to me or to Eric that whatever was going to happen next, we were going to even be a part of. So certainly not in writing, but you know, it was, those guys are both just so wildly talented in so many ways. And even the stuff they were working on, I know Andy started working with some Nashville guys in that band. I can't remember the name of the band. They're still around. So he was trying all kinds of things, and who knows? It would have probably been like we were a psychedelic band in the early 60s, and then suddenly we're, 10cc putting out pop songs or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
So with your writing in particular, would you say that there is more sort of introspective sort of subject matters based on real life instead of, dare I say, flights of fancy sort of thing with regards to lyrics? Is it always you write based on your experiences?
You mean with stuff in the Licorice Quartet?
Yeah, with everything that you've
or whatever I've done.
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, it's funny you say that. I've been redoing lyrics for one of the new songs on the third EP today because I thought they were a little bit too dreamy or something, and I'm trying to like hone down what I'm actually trying to say. So I'm pretty critical about it. It's not. I wish it came more easily. I wish I could write, Another One Bites the Dust or something, but I just don't really think like that. And for whatever reason, I can't really seem to get Roger or Eric to help me. Like, they've helped with a couple of lines here and there, but they're like, you seem to be knowing kind of what you want to talk about. You need to keep your voice with that. So maybe it's just being an older guy. I just, the things that are important to me now, I mean, and it's not always that way, but I guess because I don't write enough lyrics, that the ones that I do write, maybe I'm just spending a lot of time on because I want to say something that lasts, that means something to me, and explains my perspective.
A prime example of that is was your son's birthday recently, and Middle of Monday, which I didn't know was written about him.
Oh yeah, Special K, Kieran.
See, and maybe I was just taking things too literal. I was just like, "What cereal?
Why is he writing about party drugs?"
Honestly, I was thinking cereal.
Yeah, no, other people have said that. Somebody was saying, "Yeah, you're writing about a rave night that you had." Yeah.
See, I thought Matador was about animal cruelty at one point. I think I asked you, and it wasn't.
It's about O.J. Simpson for some reason. Yeah. Ask Rob about that. Yeah. So
with Rob's writing, I mean, did he just completely take you off guard sometimes with some of the stuff that you would bring in?
Yeah, I mean, he was sort of a free spirit. So a lot of that stuff for me, was just sort of culling, like, okay, those three lines seem to make sense in this world of stuff. And then he was pretty colorful with some other things, and I liked all that. I mean, I wish I could be, and I still try and be a little dreamy about stuff. in just some of the descriptive words that I use. I try and mix up really, the song I'm talking about is called The Meantime, that I'm working on now, is kind of using that, mixing up metaphors and stuff. So maybe somebody will figure it out. Who knows?
And musically, the third EP, because one thing that I've learned with music coming from all of you guys is that I've learned that I have faith that it's going to be incredible, but I also know that it's not exactly going to be like anything that you've previously released. I mean, obviously there'll be shades of things from the past and stuff like that, because that's your influences and you wear them on your sleeve. But without giving away too much, this third EP, is it kind of going to be very different again to the first two EPs? Is there a reason why those 4 songs were placed together?
Not because they're specifically different. It was more just groupings of the 12 songs into 4-song EPs that kind of spread out the goodness of up-tempo and, introspective or it's just so that you could listen to each of them and get kind of a full meal as you listen to it, so you don't have just all ballads on one, and that's really not much more thought out than that.
I rarely drink, but I always save a 6-pack aside when the new EP comes out.
God,
it's no, not to get me through it. It's just not especially.
All right, finish this off. Second song. Oh, whoa.
I love the idea of some of those songs, the lyrics being in like Smash Hits magazine. Trying to learn those lyrics would be a task in itself.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird that you can have such sing-alongable choruses and melodies, but have the most wordy songs ever in the history of anything. I think.
What, you think our songs are wordy?
You've got a lot to say, I guess. I remember.
So does Andy Partridge, though. I mean, listen to "Burning with Optimism's Flames."
This is true.
Of Black Sea. So and he's a huge influence on me. So maybe that's where I get that.
I never think wordy as a negative thing. I mean, Brian May once said that with the songs that he writes, the choruses are never exactly the same because the story's moved on by that point. So, if you're just kind of repeating the chorus, then maybe there's not that much of a story to tell, I guess. And one thing that I have specifically picked up from, Demolition and The Land of Pure Imagination, those, I mean, more than any other pieces of the whole Jellyfish, Imperial Drag, Umajets oeuvre, those are the 2 albums that have influenced me, both arrangement-wise and lyrically. Now, whether you want to take credit or blame for that is another thing altogether. But, I find that because for me, a melody has to be reasonably intricate to be interesting. I know that that's, not everyone will agree with that. But I feel like I'm not coming up with something that I've not heard before if it's a relatively simple melody. And that's why I tear my hair out sometimes, because, trying to come up with anything original at my level of musicianship is quite hard. If I have...
Come on.
Well, that's true. But if I have a sort of relatively complex melody, every note has to be a syllable of a word. And that makes, the words usually come last. And then I have to try and fit words into this, reasonably complex melody for me. So it becomes a jigsaw, almost like a backwards kind of jigsaw.
Yeah, I mean, I'm exactly the same way. I've had to do some not odd things, but just stretch my imagination when it comes to that. When I've got, okay, this is a 3-syllable word. So then I start looking for 3-syllable words that rhyme with the word or a near rhyme to whatever I'm looking for. But I just try and stretch that. And even on this song today, I've had to just say, the math of me trying to figure out how these stanzas are going to go is bumming me out. So I just need to figure out a different way to say what I need to say in this space, even if it means changing the rhythm of the lines.
And if something doesn't rhyme, you're not going to try to die on that hill, basically. It's whatever is most effective, I guess.
No, I know. I mean, it's well, you'll at some point you'll hear this song, but the actual last lines of the song don't rhyme at all. They're only. It's just a quote of somebody that had said something about, what is the meaning of life, and he just said to me, and he's not a religious person or anything. He just said it's about finding someone that you love, doing something that you love, and having something to hope for. So that doesn't really rhyme, but it helps sum up what this song is about for me. So
beautiful. Well, Tim, so part 3, Licorice Quartet, Threesome Volume 3, I'm guessing. What I like the idea of is that Threesome Volume 3 just isn't called that, and it's called...
Yeah, we've been talking about that. We thought about calling it synchronicity or something, threesonicity, and having like the synchronicity police record with the 3 colors. Just some stupid thing like that. So we'll see.
See, the spines of the CDs, though, that's going to really, trigger people's OCD if it doesn't have freezing.
Oh, I know. Yeah, sadly, I wish we had an art director, because we're just our own art directors, to think more globally about that. But yeah, that doesn't happen.
Very, very exciting. And I want to thank you again for taking part in this. This is the 10th year of this page, which is mind-blowing. And it's been a very rewarding 10 years for me, because I got to meet you guys. I have your support for the group, which is amazing, and your input as well. And, I know I've asked far too much of you over the years. So,
that's fine. I'm sorry. I wish I had more interesting things to share with everybody. I know that you taking care of the page and answering people's questions about stuff. It's been a long time. So thank you for putting up with all this for so long. 10 years. That's crazy. Congratulations.
Not at all. Not at all. And I think the thing that's kept the page running is the fact that it's not just strictly a page about those 2 albums from 30 years ago. I want it to cover everything, and keep everything up to date as well. And the page doesn't exist without the members as well, because that page runs itself almost now, which is wonderful. So yes, Tim, I want to thank you again, and we shall. Oh, actually, before I go, because I will get killed, Shiver Machine, what's happening?
Yeah, well, that was I can't remember the guy's name that was always asking me about it.
I know I'm going to get killed as well because I've forgotten. So
anyway, yeah. So those 6 songs exist that I finally found on a mastering DAT. The gentleman who mixed them and it was the engineer lives in Australia, and I don't even know how to get in touch with him anymore. So if I can find a way to get them digitized, I'll just put them out at some point. Johnny Colt, who was my partner in that band from the Black Crowes, just said, do whatever you want. So, yeah, hopefully I can get that done. I'm trying to not dilute the pool too much for, it'll probably just show up and I'll just text you and go, hey, this is out there if you want to put it out, let folks know about it. So
nice. It'll be like a Black Star release.
Exactly.
Show up out of nowhere, yeah.
Although I hope I don't die the day that it's released. That's my only.
Nothing has been proven yet. We don't know if Bo's actually dead until we've gone about 20 years without a release, then maybe, but I still think that he's around somewhere. So,
okay.
Well,
that'd be nice if he were.
He's went longer without a release than he has since he has died. So,
wow.
That's all I'm saying.
Wishful thinking, I guess.
When they went to Mars recently, I was hoping that there'd be a silhouette of Ziggy just sat on a rock. Didn't happen. No. So 10 years ago as well. So what were you doing? Were you fully immersed in High Flying Birds at that point?
So 10 years ago was what? 2012?
11, 12, yeah.
Yeah, I was just starting doing the Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds. I can't believe that. That's crazy. I've known you from before then, though.
I'm almost certain. Yeah. How did we first get in touch? I mean, it's kind of weird when it's weird for me to have found a band that kind of changed my life, and then for you guys to be easily accessible as well. So and fans are incredibly grateful for that. And I mean, God, the work that's showing up on the page that you guys have put out there as incentives for the EP releases has been top notch as well. So yeah. You are buying other people.
Well, we just had an Uber fan make up a bunch of little badges that from that circular thing that say the Licorice Quartet. They just arrived over the weekend, so I'm going to get them to our company, and we may just do a big giveaway or something, or add them to any purchases or whatever. They're cool though. They're over there. I can't reach them, but
that's a tease. That's a real tease. Yeah. We love swag though, so yeah, all good.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will let you go because I did say that 5 minutes ago, and it's going to sound less genuine every time that I say how much I'm a fan of your music.
You're a liar. You're a liar.
Was it Four-Flusher, Snake in the Grass, a Wolf in Sheep's Clothing? Yeah. There you go.
Exactly.
I've learned words because of Jellyfish. Okay, thank you very much, and we'll talk again soon.
See ya. Bye, everybody.